This is BBC Two welcoming you to Radio 1 Night, and with very strong language, who better to launch it than the station's saviour?
To get to Radio 1 was my ultimate dream. The Radio 1 breakfast show, it's the biggest gig in radio. It's been on every day, Monday to Friday, since 1967. And in 2010, it's still big. And in 10 years' time, somebody else will be doing it. And 10 years after that, somebody else will be doing it.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the show. Wednesday morning on BBC Radio 1.
My take on it is, you've got to have a laugh in the morning, make people smile on the way to work or school or college, but you've also got to talk about what's going on in Britain. You've got to talk about the stories of the day. There has to be some substance as well as all the silly stuff. Since I've been on The Breakfast Show on Radio 1, we talked about a lot of stuff. I remember announcing the death of Michael Jackson on the air to millions of people. Equally, I remember talking about Katie Price and Peter Andre splitting up, which was a big news story of the day. Now, they're my stories from my time. I'm fascinated to know what the other DJs have from their time. You know, what were their big stories of the day? What was the big pop culture moments? What were the big talking points? I want to know how they connected with their audience, how they felt about doing a show. Did they feel that it was a massive thing to do? For me, it is a massive thing to do. I'm very passionate about it, so I want to talk to the other people who've done it before me. Now, I have no idea what I'm going to find out, whether or not they're going to be nice to me, what they're going to tell me. However, I absolutely can't wait to meet them.
When Moyles met the Radio 1 B'fast DJs.
It all started way back when, in 1967. A DJ called Tony Blackburn came on the air and said,
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the exciting new sound of Radio 1.
Noel Edmonds, he was next. The man was a musical rebel. Did he play the Beatles? Did he play the Stones?
Two from Dr. Hook, a little bit more, and just like the movies, good morning!
and taking us into the 80s was a man who thought that he was terrific. He spent the night before his very first show thinking of something prolific.
I don't want you to let this go any further, but I spent most of last night considering my first words for this program, because I realized they had to be quite prolific. So here goes. Welcome to The Breakfast Show.
Obviously, all those guys, the early DJs, are all legends, Dave and Noel and Tony, but it was before my time. I didn't grow up listening to The Breakfast Show with those guys. For me, as a young lad in Leeds, I was listening to a fella called Mike Reid. So I'm going to go and meet him and have a chat with him.
Mike Reid, 81 to 86.
I've actually brought the guitar in, which I'm just wrestling with a few chords at the moment, and when I've sorted them out, the treat will be all yours. It's 24 minutes past 8. It's Spandau Ballet.
I've managed to track down the original Radio 1 roadshow vehicle from the 1980s. I first saw the roadshow in Scarborough when I was a teenager. These days, it might just look like any old truck that you pass on the motorway, but back then, for any Radio 1 fan, it was the biggest thing to happen all year. This is the 1983 Radio 1 DJ calendar, where DJs, for whatever reason, were persuaded to dress up as idiots in sporting gear. far too many hilarious pictures to mention, but if you go all the way through to June 1983, you'll see Mr. Mike Reed, breakfast show DJ extraordinaire, Saturday Superstore presenter, Cliff Richard lookalike, and by the look of it, professional tennis impersonator. He hit Radio 1 on the breakfast show at a really good time when DJ really was king. Hello! Look what I found.
I know you need a big truck, but I didn't think you were that heavy. How are you, mate?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. No, that is superb. I get a sort of thrill running through me when I see that. And I want to hear, today, live from Scalby Mills Lawn, Scarborough.
Well, this is big. I remember going to see it as a kid. It was really impressive.
It was just great fun, driving from town to town, guitar and tennis racket in the bag, in your shorts, and showing off to the girls and getting paid for it. Doesn't sound too bad to me, though.
No, what a great life.
Yeah.
Rise and shine on Radio 1.
What do you remember about your first day doing the breakfast show?
Well, the first day was you felt like a fraud sitting in someone else's chair. I thought this chair in Broadcasting House belongs to Tony Blackburn, Noel Edmonds, David Lee Travis. You know, it's not really my chair.
Is that really what you thought? It's not?
As a first thought, as I sat in there, I thought, I feel a bit of a fraud here.
I'm such a big head. I was like, yes, I'm in the chair now. Yeah. My chair.
I was like that the second day. So the baton gets passed on.
So many big bands in the 80s, especially when you were doing breakfast. I would imagine you would have known all these guys, the Sailors. You'd have known them on a friendly basis.
Oh, yeah. As everyone knows, used to play tennis with Cliff a lot and stuff like that, and because we both love tennis, and even played tennis with Shaky a few times as well.
I love that, by the way, that you played tennis with Cliff. I love that. Seriously, my mum loves Cliff. She'll love this bit.
Yeah.
I saw a photo of you with Cliff meeting Princess Diana.
I met her at a few things, and she was always nice, and I did some of the early Princess Trust functions and hosted those. When she was still in the blushing stage, you know, you talked to her and she, you know, and she blushed. But she was always charming. And then a few years later, we were out skiing. And
what? You and Diana?
No, I was out. There were a few of us had never skied before. Cliff had never skied. I'd never skied.
Whoa. So it's you, Diana, and Cliff. I can't wait for the story. Strap yourselves in, viewers. This is a cracker.
And we got to the hotel in Lech at Arlberg, and William and Harry would be out there skiing, and they were fearless. So in came Diana, and we were chatting, you know, come and have dinner and all the rest of it. So she'd say, "You're going to bring your guitars." So we'd take the guitars, and we'd have a sing-song. And Cliff said, you know, we'd be playing and say to the boys, "Well, what do you want?" And they say, "I'll play some rock and roll." And William and Harry are singing into a couple of Mars bars, and Diana is singing, and we're playing guitars and thinking, this is quite a group. This is quite a group, you know. The Princess of Wales, future King of England and his brother, and here we are having a rock and roll session. But
I can honestly say, all my time doing the Radio Breakfast Show, I don't have any stories that come even close to the one you just told.
We weren't encouraged then. In fact, we were actively discouraged to talk about people we knew in the business on air. We were discouraged. It was name dropping. It was showing off, and we were told don't really go on and say, "Oh, I went out for a drink with so and so last night." But
so Radio One said don't, because that's great to be in the thick of it like that. There's a hard balance between showing off and also, you know, telling a great story about going out with somebody and stuff.
It's now celebrity. It's okay because it's celebrity. But then it was. It's a bit name dropping. We don't do that here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, it sounds as though you're showing off.